Hello everyone, welcome to another video of Story So Far. This story so far of Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. So, have you asked?
1865 was a time of no laws and chaos. This era lasted for 30 years. Near the West Mississippi River was filled with these gunslingers. The Pinkertons were the first detective agency.
Two people named Dutch Vanderleen and Hosea Matthew team up to form a group called Vanderleen Gang. The leader of the gang was Dutch. Dutch took a young kid named Arthur Morgan. Also, Dutch rescued another young boy named John Marston. When John joins the gang, he meets a girl named Abigail Roberts. After a couple of years, John and Abigail have a child named Jack Marston. John and Arthur are like brothers until John leaves the gang after some time. John rejoins the gang, but he and Arthur are not the same. Arthur makes John feel bad to abandon his family for some time. Also leaves the legendary scar on his face of John. Dutch is planning about the last big score which will make them finally retire. The gang attempts the heist in Blackwater, which goes wrong. We all know that. And many people were killed except Landon Ricketts, as they say. The gang flees to the mountain region to lie low. The weather is not good and very hard to survive. They try to search a place to survive and a good shelter and come across a gang named O'Driscolls. They rob a train owned by Lovetis, I can't spell that, so yeah, Mr. Cornwall, which was O'Driscoll's plan to do it first. The O'Driscolls had made a woman widow named Sadie Adler. In another day, John goes missing and we go to rescue him in the harsh snowstorm, as I said you in the beginning. The train robbery leads to Pinkerton searching for this gang. After the robbery, the gang flee to the nearest town, Valentine. Arthur helps the gang in Valentine. Arthur robs another train, leading Pinkerton's agent Milton finding Arthur and tries to make him betray the gang. Even after Arthur declines, Agent Milton is after the gang. The gang flees to another town named Rhodes. After the shootout in the Bank of Valentine. The town was ruled by two rich families, Braithwaites and the Grays. These family has the rumor of hidden gold. Dutch makes a plan to become friends with both family and run with the gold behind the scene by making those families fight again. But both family were aware of the score of the gang were planning. The shootout happens when Sean dies. After that, Braithwaite kidnap the kid Jack Marston, son of John Marston. You know that. The gang defeats both families and burn the house of the Braithwaites and get the location of Jack. Jack is in the city Saint Denis with a man named Angelio Bronte. The gang gets Jack back and the man provides Dutch a robbery score. Arthur makes another robbery on a boat and meets a man whose name is Rains Fall. Dutch proceeds with the score and then they find out where there were not a lot of money, so Dutch and it was all a setup for Dutch to get caught. Dutch kills Bronte and attempts to rob another bank. Then the shootout from Pinkertons leads to death of Hosea and Lenny getting killed. Yeah. Then John is taken to jail and we free John from the jail with Sadie. You know that scene in the hot air balloon? Yes. Dutch, Micah and Arthur get on a boat to Cuba and massive crash leads the boat sinking with the gold they stole. The three makes out alive and arrive to Guarma. The gang becomes friends with the local people and helps the island stay safe by defeating Fosser, a man who tortures the people there. The three mix back to the rest of the gang as soon as Pinkertons, forcing them to flee once again. Then we know Arthur is sick with tuberculosis and has limited days to live. Dutch Rainfall's son to attack US compound. His name is Eagleflies. Rainfall's son's name is Eagleflies. Eagleflies dies, and also Charles Smith leaves the gang to help the Whippity group through their loss. Dutch robs another train which has enough money to finally retire, but only some of the money was taken, and John gets shot and falls off the train. Everyone thought he was dead. Meanwhile, Pinkertons raid the remaining gang flees, and Abigail was captured. Dutch and other goes and leaves her behind, while Arthur and Sadie go rescue her. Agent Milton was killed in the process, and we also learn from him Micah was betraying the gang. Sadie then rides back with Abigail, and Arthur goes after Dutch with his last ride on his horse and Micah. Arthur confronts Micah, and we all know how it happens. Micah refuses to accept it, and Dutch was confused. Meanwhile, John arrives and tells he was left for dead, and each member draw their gun to each other. The place was then attacked by Pinkertons. John and Arthur flee to the woods, where Arthur tells John to run with his family, and then Arthur provides distraction for John. Arthur fights Micah and dies after, because he had tuberculosis, After some years, John gets job at one of the ranch. John works there as a rancher. The local post office gets his real name, and the scene where John gets the letter? Yeah. The local post office gets his real name, and then some men goes there and confronts him that he's John, forced to kill them. John is forced to kill them. Then Abigail runs with Jack with fear that John will redo his past once again. John loans some money to buy property named Beecher's Hope and makes a ranch of his own, which was a dream of Abigail. John meets Uncle Sadie and Charles. John goes to bounty hunt with Sadie to pay his loan, and meets Abigail in the process to marry her for real this time. Sadie finds the location of Micah, and then she will go to kill Micah. Abigail would stop John, the ending scene. Then we also see Dutch, and Dutch shoots Micah and leaves the money from Blackwater for John, Charles and Sadie. Yeah, that was a surprising moment, and we all hate Micah, we know that. John gets a proper marriage with Abigail, and then an agent named Edgar Rose tracks John's location after some years. The FBI tells John to track remaining member of the Vanderleen gang. Then John finds Dutch and tells him all the things he had been doing, and leads Dutch falling off the cliff. After that, John is welcome to go back home. John teaches Jack ranching and riding horse and shooting guns. Then FBI is back to kill the rest of the Vanderleen gang, the real legendary Vanderleen gang. John then sees Abigail and sends Abigail and Jack to flee and face the FBI. Then he dies, where John's story ends here. Jack becomes an outlaw and then finally leading to kill the man who betrayed his father. And that was.
Thank you guys for watching. Sure, this was a long video, but how do you like the story? I will see you in the next video. Bye.